Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is, where you're coming from. Cowboys Nation, you know the drill. Welcome to the XXO Show. I'm your host, Zach White, and of course, my guy with me.
Yeah. You know what it is. It's old head. It's old head coming at you, brother. What's up, fam?
What's up, man? Hey, so getting closer to draft time, man. So we got some players we need to profile as kind of what we're looking into from said players. And let's go ahead and start off with the cornerback position. What are we looking for in a cornerback? What are you looking for?
Yeah, man. You know what? I think I love the angle we're coming at, man. So we're gonna try to pick out some attributes from each position group, seeing how we both think there's gonna be a defensive draft, man. Yeah. I know from our Twitter chairs, we're gonna try to see what these scouts and what Dan Quinn is begging Jerry and the crew to go pick for him. So we're gonna start off with the corners, huh? If we're talking corners, bro, if we're talking corners, I actually think we got the model. And again, given Dan Quinn's scheme, which is a heavy cover 3 scheme, it's either going to be 3 or man free that we see, right?
Right.
I don't think we're ever, for the most part, we're not going to see, you're not going to see a bunch of quarters coverage. You're not going to see a bunch of 2. You know what I mean, or cloud. You're going to see heavy 3. They stay, from what I think I understand, they're a heavy 4-3 base. They're going to stay in that. They're going to stay in it and adjust to all formations, and they're going to keep that 4-3 personnel on the field. So for me, if you're asking me what to think the attributes are, whatever Trayvon Diggs is, that's what I think is going to succeed in this scheme. I think if we looking at that Legion of Boom, even looking at Atlanta where he was at last, even though he was the head coach, you want length, you want a tall corner, you want rangy guys, you want guys with ball skills. Again, I'm just gonna describe Diggs for you because I think he is the perfect. I mean, when you talk about the perfect, they couldn't. When it comes to this position player, I don't think that they couldn't wish for a more perfect scheme, because Diggs is not. We saw he struggled a lot in man last year because he don't have that top end speed, but his awareness, right? His ball skills. I would say he's even physical enough. All those things, I think, again. So if I had to pick 3, I'm looking for lift. I'm looking for aggressive technique. And what I mean by that is that when you see it, you put your foot in the ground and you go get it. You ain't hanging back. You know what I mean? You're that type of corner where you put your foot in the ground and you go attack the ball. And I saw that from Diggs a couple of times, and it was so impressive because we haven't normally seen a corner here that's that sure, that jumps routes, that's not afraid to take some risks. Instincts.
I love that. Trust yourself.
It's a par. And I think what I'm looking for, man, is we're gonna get into this, in the coming weeks. We're gonna try to find players that match that, right? That got length, that's smart, that trust instincts, right? And they go get it. And I think that's Diggs to a T. So that's what I'm looking for in a corner under this scheme.
I agree with you. No doubt, man. All those traits, that's it's highly important, man. I'm right there in the same area. I like the length and the ranginess. I know that's kind of what they had with Richard Sherman, obviously. Not saying he is going to be Richard Sherman, but I know that's the kind of profile that Dan Quinn wants in his cornerback. So and it was the same way when Chris Richard was here, and how important that is. And
you do know that's why what's your boy that be all over posting all the time, the slot corner, that's why he wasn't getting a lot of run. Jordan Lewis. That's why he wasn't getting a lot of run under Chris Richard, right? Because he wanted those big guys on the outside. Not saying that he's not an NFL caliber player, but again, you still see his struggles at times where look, man, if you're 5'10", you can be fast all you want. But the NFL is,
Right.
I mean, you look at Claypool and all these big
All these
Michael
big dudes.
Thomas,
Yep.
all these guys are 6'3". When you are 5'9", 5'10", you can be as fast as you want, bro. When that ball is thrown up above, their helmets,
Oh yeah.
you ain't
It's
getting it.
above the
There's nothing
rim.
you can do.
No, it's
Right.
not even
You know what I
close.
mean? There's nothing you can do there. So I think the trend, right, of these corners with length that can cover the DK Metcalfs of the world,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
Asante Samuel
Yeah.
Jr., I love that dude, but he 5'10", 5'11". He ain't doing nothing with DK Metcalf.
Agreed. Agreed. It
You
ain't
know what I
happening,
mean?
man.
If
And
if
if,
you below 6 feet, I think you going the way of the light skinned black dude. You ain't in no more. We got took over, man.
I mean, if you want that,
Williams type,
right? If you want that in a nickel corner, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want that, I can see that. You want them out, you want them in coverage where you can get against a quicker guy. You want a quicker guy against a quicker guy. You don't want to pair Diggs up against whatever, Cole Beasley. You know what I mean? You don't want them against it's not that's not what you want. But on the outsides, I mean, that's what I would prefer. We already got that in Diggs. I would prefer to have another corner like that on the other side, a 1A, 1B type situation. And some people don't feel that way, man. I've actually heard that argument. They want a different type of corner on the other side for whatever reason. I'm not sure. That there was no real great explanation for that. But for me, yeah, I want length, I want range, I want smoothness in transitions. I want fundamentally sound. That's really what I'm looking for, man. I want the fundamentals of the game, communication, just regular, just backpedaling, transitioning, and ball skills are great to me. And don't get me wrong, because Byron was a little bit more one of those fundamental guys, right? So not so much on the ball skills, but I'm okay with that because I see what Diggs does and I see his game, and I think he's got those ball skills, and I love that about his game. So if you want to put a solid cornerback on that other side, I'm okay with that. Just be fundamentally sound, man. Don't bend, don't break. I'm okay with that. That's good enough for me.
Okay. Well,
But I mean, if you want,
let's go
don't get me
find it.
wrong. I'll take a guy with ball skills on the other side too. Don't get me wrong.
I just think in today's NFL, and we have been, look, this team has had a history of corners, and we still got them.
Right.
Corners that just will not have the instincts to know when to turn. And I'm going to tell you, it's two things that kills you when you have corners that don't want to do that, right? There's two things. The first thing is, if you don't have a corner that's turning his head to find the ball, you're going to be getting flags up the yin yang. Okay.
It's a fundamental.
That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you ain't that dude and you're trying and you won't go turn to find the ball, why are you playing this position? We need turnovers. That measurable in the NFL of yards, and like you said, bend all day long.
Yeah.
But brother, create turnovers. What I saw from this team the last 3 or 4 weeks, and again, that's a mentality. I know that we were playing the Bengals and the Niners, and by the way, the Niners, they were after they played us. We talk all the ish we want, but they almost beat Seattle. They were going and beating other teams after they played us. Right. So yes, we weren't playing the strongest teams, but it's a mentality. And brother, when you are creating turnovers in the NFL, I don't care how many. We all care how many yards, but what you're doing is you're giving your offense more opportunities when you're getting turnovers. And the more possessions or the more plays you can run, the better. And I know I ain't even gonna start, but you on team 40 burger, team Jack, team 40 million. I ain't gonna start. But if you're gonna do that, look, present day, bro, this team has over $100 million committed to the offensive side of the ball, and like 60 on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
you got to get dudes. You got to get guys that are going to turn the ball over. And if look, I ain't gonna argue about that, but if we're going to say we coming at you and we scoring 24 a game, then you got to give that offense as many chances to put the ball in the end zone as possible. Ergo, you need to turn it over. I want linebackers that know how to hit and strip. I want corners that that have ball skills, that want to go up and make picks. Right? I've been through, and look, I love them all. I've been through the Terrence Newmans, I've been through, the Cheetos and all these other cats and the Byron Jones that just won't turn their head to find the ball.
Right.
We still got to live with Anthony Brown. That he ain't ever turning his head in coverage and going up and trying to find the ball. He just ain't doing it.
That's
And if
why
you're
it's
not doing it,
important.
you're
That's why
leaving it.
that's why it's
Yeah, it's
important to
important. That's
me
why I said
to
it's
find a
important.
corner in in this draft too, because that's what you're relying on. You know what I mean? We got Anthony Brown for another 2 years now. So that's what we're relying on the other
Right.
side, opposite Diggs.
Can't do it.
I'm not comfortable with that, man. I'm not. So
Me either.
that is
Me either.
definitely an important position. But another, probably the most important position that we both agree on is DT. We're looking for a DT this year. We're not trying to do regardless of what they say. I'm not interested. I know we got some guys. Gallimore is one of them, talented, up and coming. He has a bright future, but I don't know that that's right now. We need to continue to build on that position. You got Hill.
I may disagree with you here now that Dan Quinn is here, but I may disagree with you. And I know, look, I may.
Really? Okay.
I think, bro, that my opinions, of the personnel, I was so down on them because they weren't able to execute what Nolan was trying to get them to do, which our roster had been built on Marinelli, right? Which is Marinelli and Quinn are the same way. They want to get pressure with the front four. They don't want to do a bunch of blitzing. So they had the same type of personnel. And that was my frustration with our team last year, is that we're like, you dudes didn't adjust the personnel to run this scheme that you tried to implement. And that's why we were getting ran on. Right. Now, let's talk about what we got. Now, if they bring, again, Dan Quinn believes in what? From the front four, he believes in guys that are getting upfield, getting pressure.
Yep.
One gap.
Right.
One gap.
Right.
Okay. Not two gap. One gap. Right. Yep. Upfield, get off. So to Dan Quinn, I bet what I'm looking for with my D tackle is get off, brother. Right. And that wasn't Dontarie Poe. That fat piece of, sorry, his mama probably watching. I don't want to call that man that name, but your baby is fat. He wasn't getting off shit. Getting off wasn't his strength. He was supposed to be stout. He was a two gap guy. So Dan Quinn believes in one gap, attack it. Get your ass off the ball.
Yep.
Get upfield, right, and create havoc. And right, create havoc on the other side of the line of scrimmage. That's what I believe Dan Quinn's front four has to be able to do. Now, let's.
But are we going to find that? There's not an Aaron Donald in this draft, bro. You know what I mean?
No. And I'm not. So you and I both believe going in, I thought D tackle was our biggest position of need, right?
Right.
If they bring, and I know Gerald McCoy is old, but let's look at what we got when we try to match up. Man, where do we want them to pick first? Because, by the way, I think it's either corner or linebacker. I think those are the biggest. And I hope they do something in free agency.
No doubt.
But, bruh, if they bring Gallimore, right?
Yep.
Gallimore played well. And I think he will play even better in this scheme. I think he played even better because he's nothing but a Brandon Mebane. Right now we're talking about players that we saw in that old Legion of Boom, Seattle. Right? Now, remember, you ain't see no Hall of Famers come out of that group. They were just great scheme fits.
Right.
Yep. Great scheme fits, right?
Yep.
So you saw Red Bryant. I think that was his name. You saw guys like that, right? Guys with great get off, good motor, great get off. And they knew what their gap was, and they hit that sucker, bro. Right. They hit it.
Yeah.
You got Tristan Hill, you got Gerald McCoy, and you got Gallimore. Right. If they get McCoy to come back, which I could, if they like that, but that was his strength when he was at Tampa Bay. What was his strength?
Right.
Who was his D line coach, bro?
Who was his D line coach?
We should go Google that. I bet you. Wasn't Marinelli back around there back then?
Yeah.
He's a descendant. We gonna have to look that up. But what I'm saying is, man, all these pieces of the puzzle start falling into one another.
Right.
I don't think we need that big two gap. Just two gap run stuffing. I think they want pressure. I don't think they want a big old just going to stand there and be stout and soak up blocks. I don't think that's the D tackle they're looking for. I do think they're looking for a lighter, 310,
Right.
310, blazing. I mean, that 3 technique, because that's another. They play a 3 technique and a 1 technique in this scheme to go along with those ends. And that outside linebacker walks up to look like that fifth. You do know in this scheme, we're going to have a 6-man box. It's going to be a 6-man box look all the time.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to look like, right? It's going to look like a 6-man box. And I would imagine that you ain't going to run through the Cowboys next year with this defense.
So real quick, you're 1 tech. You're 1 tech. Who do you see that being for us this coming up year?
I would probably say Tristan Hill's going to be your 3 technique, and Gerald McCoy's probably going to be your 1 technique.
Okay.
If you sign him back.
If you sign him back. If not, or
Actually,
Gallimore. Gallimore's probably going to be your.
So I think Gallimore, McCoy will be. Yeah, I think Gallimore, McCoy. I actually think if they sign McCoy back, I think they'll be looking for a 3 technique in the draft. That's what I think.
Really?
Because remember, we're talking about the draft. I happen to think that they're going to be drafting now. Who's the 3 technique? I think he's going to play outside eye of the guard.
Right.
I think outside eye of the guard, and that wasn't Tyrone Crawford a 3 technique? I think that's what he was, right?
He was 3 technique.
Originally, when they signed him, he was a 3 technique, right?
They use him a lot. They use him defensive end and 3 tech. They use him all over.
Yeah, but they started.
They did the same thing with David Irving. You know what I mean?
Right. So, now, bruh. That's who you're looking for.
Right.
That's exactly who you're looking for.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Less
skinny fat.
Less the weed, right? You don't want to run around smoking weed. Once you fuck up, you not got 2 birds in 1 stone. You mess around, you stay on the line, they get ready to go, they fuck around, and Randy look over there and be like, damn, you start reminiscing about that weed. Randy Gray, he's like, is that weed? And then you got a lot of smokers with 2 players.
They leave it at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
They blazing up at half.
Like, it's just legal now. Coach Quinn.
Come on, man. Hey, for real.
But yeah, man. That's a name I like, man.
Yeah.
That's a name. I think they are looking for David Irving. I think that's exactly what they're looking for.
Right.
Exactly what they're looking for. Now, this is what we got to go find. Is there any players? I like what we're about to do, man, and what you're doing, because you're a big college, big college tape. So we need to go find that 6, that light speed, get off, hand placement, right?
Right.
Your hand placement is everything from the D tackle position.
Yeah.
It's everything. Leverage and hand placement, right?
Yeah.
Leverage and hand placement. It's everything. So here's my attributes from the D tackle, right? Get off is number 1. Get off, right? Yep. That they got to be able to do that. They got to play with great leverage, right? Great leverage and great technique, right? Can they can they get those hands off, right? And they have that ability to be stout. I think those are the 3 things that I want us to go try to find. And we need to, how many players at each position we're going to go find to fit these attributes? What's the idea? How many you want to go find?
I want to find at least 3. At least 3. Top 3
from each position group.
Yeah. Because I mean, when you start thinking about it, you start thinking about players that fit that profile. You got to think about also how the draft's going to land, and if that's even something that would be entertaining to us or something we'd be interested in. So yeah, I'm definitely down. I mean, 1st round pick, it could be cornerback, linebacker. So we'll do top 3 1st round, right? What our guys are.
What do you think? What position do you think this defense needs? If you're sitting at 10 and you have a guy at each position that you like, you got a corner that you like, a linebacker that you like, and a D lineman that you like. What you taking? What position group do you think what are they got a glaring need for?
Well, that's the complicated part, right? So it's BPA. So whatever one of those players you feel is more talented than the other, like for instance Christian Barmore, like is he gonna be? He'll definitely be there at 10, but where is he gonna go? Where's his range? So I like his game.
Ooh,
Hell,
we gotta look at him.
we're gonna look at him. Yeah,
We gotta look at
he
him.
fits exactly what we want. So yeah, he's one of them, man. And but he's towards the later end of the first round, maybe beginning of the second. It kind of depends, man. Grades are gonna change, right? Grades are gonna change up and down the
How these
draft,
guys
the
test.
combine, how they
Yeah.
test. It's gonna change a whole lot of stuff. So
As
but
long as we don't take no lineman that has the weakness listed under their pre-draft profile as not strong at all.
we don't want Connor Williams again. You know what? And inside that with that 10 spot, that would be the only other position that I would entertain on the offensive side of the ball, right? So to me, you need and you can make it. You can slide a tackle into a guard. You can make it work. They did it with Connor Williams. It didn't work. But
it didn't work.
It did
I got
not
an
work.
idea, bro, of why it didn't work. Because our general manager didn't read the pre-draft. Not strong
at all.
At all. They put the at all. They didn't even have to do that. Think about that. They just could have said weakness, strength.
Did they
do at all?
I can see like the dot at all in all caps. In all caps.
And then what Jerry do? Well, that don't mean Jerry. Do not think it, bro. You got someone that's going to play in the NFL on the offensive or defensive line. I don't think. Now, look, man, I don't do it for a living,
right?
But it don't take much to figure out that I don't want a cat that has that type of at all.
Yeah, no,
damn, Jerry, bruh. Bruh.
Hey,
just give me some shit where it says strong,
very strong, stout.
Yeah, stout, right?
Wow. Yeah, beast.
You imagine
something.
This. Look, you
a good adjective.
We need to go back and read Larry Allen's from Simona State. I don't think
it didn't say no strong.
I know, brother. Do you want to know the most amazing clip I've ever seen? You ever seen that clip when Troy threw that interception against, I think it was New Orleans, and Larry Allen walked this linebacker down? Have you ever seen that?
I never seen that one. No.
Bruh, we're going to have to put that up there.
Man, it's a beast.
It is, brother, Larry Allen. And we thought of him as just a big rock. No, I'm serious, bruh. He walked this linebacker down. Troy looked like he pulled a hamstring after 15 yards.
So is he going to be?
Larry Allen walked his ass down.
Is he going to be on your Mount Rushmore? Well, hold on. I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question. Then we're going to get to around Mount Rushmore. But first, I say you take the corner, man. The corner for me, it is what it is. Obviously, we know what's there. And we're going to be doing some videos a little later on this week, doing some comparisons between the two. Probably we're going to end up doing one over Patrick Surtain and Caleb Farley. You obviously know how I feel about kind of both those players, but we're going to review some of the tape. But for me, it's corner, and I'll tell you why. We got lucky. We found a strength, and we found Diggs, and he's a damn good cornerback. To me, if this is an opportunity, and we don't know when we're going to be inside or we're going to be in that top 10 range, hopefully not in the near future. But for me, you go ahead. If you see something there that you like, if you like something in one of those corners, you do it. You shore up that secondary. And I know how bad we're getting run on and we having issues where we need a safety. I mean, people talking about DTs, talking linebackers, obviously with Jalen Smith. But to me, you shore up, you go ahead and get your secondary right, man. If you can build a strength, it might even give your guys more time to get to the quarterback. It might give your pass rushers more time because there's no holes.
Yeah, that 10th pick, I agree with you. Depending on what we see, if Surtain and we see that there's 2 or 3 guys are who we think they are, I think you pick the corner because again, I think free agency, you're going to see this team pick a D lineman to shore up that position group to where they don't have to pick a D lineman at 10 because I don't think there's a guy, that's worthy of being picked that high. So you don't want to force it. And right. I'm either going to say, I would love to see them pick if there's a linebacker that's rated that high. Again, I think that is our our biggest position of weakness on this defense. I don't think it's corner. I don't even think it's safety. I think it's linebacker. Seeing what I saw this year, I do not think either one of these guys are going to be great. So I think if it's a corner or it's a linebacker that's rated high enough to justify that pick, that's where I would like to see them go with the 10th pick.
Yeah, I could see that. It's really a matter of are you finding that guy at 10 as far as the linebacker is concerned. There's some names that I'm interested in. There's some talented guys in this draft, but I got a couple. You know what? We're going to talk about it. We're going to get there, but I have a gem that I found at linebacker, and I think he would be perfect for Dan Quinn's scheme. And we're gonna do a video on that. But Mount Rushmore, sir. Mount Rushmore of the Dallas Cowboys. Who you got, man? Who you putting at the top? And you got what 4? You got 4 spots? Is that what it is?
4 spots. 4 spots. Let's go 2 at a time and go back and forth. Let's go 2 at a time.
Okay. You
first.
Because
look, I'm going to tell you the 2. There's 2 for me that are without question, and the other ones are debatable. But my 2 that's on my Mount Rushmore, bro, is Emmitt Smith and Tom Landry. I'm going to start there. When you have the NFL's leading rusher of all time, I think he has to be. And then Tom Landry is the most iconic. And no disrespect, because I'm a Jimmy Johnson dude, but I think when you start looking at, hey man, this franchise and what it embodies, right? And who epitomized it the best, I think the fedora, the you know what I mean, the everything. Persona, I think those. Yeah. I'm going to start with those 2, and I'm going to give you my other 2, but I'm going to say those 2 are definitely in for me.
Okay.
What about you?
All right. Here we go. Man, this is hard. I haven't had enough to. Man, picking just 4. I mean, we're talking, years. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go Roger, man. Roger Staubach, man. Roger the Dodger. That's Captain America himself, man. You can't not have. I mean, again, you talk about America's team. You talk about the saying Hail Mary and where it came from. I mean, just all, and this guy, he went into war. I mean, you can't top that, man. You can't, he was just that good overall personality. You know what I mean? You got Joe Namath talking about sleeping with all these other women. This is a good, wholesome family guy. And he brought it, man. He brought it. He won some titles. And that's hard too, because right there on the other side, you got Tom Landry. So, but for me, yeah, it's got to be Roger, man. He's just legend. Number 2, Mike Irvin, bro. That's my guy.
Mount Rushmore.
That's my guy. Mount Rushmore. It's
I like
not
Mike,
even.
But on Rushmore, Mike 100%. Was cutting people with scissors if they didn't get up out the chair.
That's what
Mike was in the Mike was in the White House. Nah.
That's what I want.
I can't put Mike on Rushmore.
Oh, man. Come on, bro. Come on.
I can't put him. You just got to. You know what, bro? How do you go from Roger Staubach to Michael Irvin?
That's exactly what I want.
You want to talk about polar opposites. Now, to me,
100%.
not only you'll play on the field, Mount Rushmore, bro. You can't have no demons. You can't have no scandal. I think that's what disqualifies.
Put a little white etch right there by his nose. I don't care what you got to do.
Look. I'm going to give you Roger Staubach because now think about it. Now we building something now. Roger Staubach, Tom Landry, Emmitt Smith. You know who I'm going to fill that 4th spot with? Because again, to me, it has to be your play on the field. Now it's 2 D linemen that I think are iconic for this franchise. Iconic. And I'm going to tell you, I could go with either one of them, but it could either be Bob Lilly or it could be Randy White. It could be either one of them. But I think my Mount Rushmore is, I think it's one of those D linemen. It's Tom Landry, it's Roger Staubach, and it's Emmitt Smith. I got everything covered. I got everything from the 60s all the way up to the 90s when this iconic, franchise was great. And that's my Mount Rushmore, man. And some people, you know, if Jerry Jones wouldn't have messed this up so bad in the last 25 years, if there was a fifth person, I would have said Jerry, but he's messed it up the last 25 years for me, for this franchise. But he is my number 5.
No doubt. No doubt. And I'll meet you. I'll meet you halfway on that too. I agree. Not quite there. Who knows what'll happen, within these next few years, but it's real hard. It's hard to leave him out. But I say Mike Irvin, that's my guy, man, because crazy off field. It was the grit. It was the leadership and the grit that this man had. This man he could stay up all night and hitting lines and strippers and whatever else he was doing. Crazy. Them cocaine Cowboys were doing, but he came to practice. He came to practice every day. Man, the man would run until he puked. He would run routes, puke, mid-route, and still keep running his route. That's the type of guy. I love that, bro. I love that. I want that energy on my team. That's a dog.
He push off at the top. I'm just saying. Look, I ain't trying to come at you, but he puke.
I don't care.
Push off, and then he catches it. I'm just saying.
I don't care.
I know. Look, I can't talk no trash.
Catch it.
I know that's your dude. I know that's your dude, man.
Playmaker.
But again, to
Let's
me,
go.
that Rushmore, man, it has to be both sides. You were a great player. You were a great teammate, and you represented the organization well. Like you said, man, I love when you started describing Roger Staubach. Checked all 3 boxes, right? Great player, right?
Yeah.
Great human being, good man, right?
Yeah.
He was, right? I mean, there is no scandal. And to me, I think Michael Irvin checked that box. He was obviously a great player, right? And a great teammate, but I don't think he was a great citizen. I don't think he actually represented the organization well. I just think he was a great player on the field, but it's like, man, I can't bring my kids around you though, Mike.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? Everybody deserves a second chance. Now he embodies his team now, right? He's grown into a man. He realizes his mistakes. He's a better human being overall. So congrats to him on that. But them other 2 are hard, man, because I feel like there are 2.
You don't think Jerry should be there?
I do. I really do. Just the way he changed. I mean, he did. He turned the franchise around. Love him or hate him. I mean, he created a brand. And whether that brand is whatever it is, some people think it's weak. Some people think it's soft. As far as a businessman goes, what he did for the Dallas Cowboys and their brand, it was already there, but it started dropping off. When that man came in, again, if you hate him, but it rose to the top, but I'm not
kicking off.
I'm not putting him on there.
Kicking off?
I'm not putting Jerry in there.
You're not. Oh, you're not.
I'm not putting Jerry in
not.
there. I'm not putting him in there.
Okay, so tell me your 4 again.
I'm not putting him in there.
It was Michael Irvin. It was Roger Staubach, and then who was your other 2?
This is where it gets hard. This is where it gets difficult. I got to put him in there. I have to put him in it. You have to. Everything he did for this team on and off the field, still all-time leading rusher for a career. Great dude all the way around. Although I met him one time. He wasn't so nice, but we'll get to that.
I heard.
That's another story.
I heard that.
Yeah, that's another story. Emmett, and this is. I feel like I have to have a defensive guy on there. You know what I mean? We're talking about doomsday defenses, and like I feel like I gotta have a defensive guy on there, but it's really hard for me because I'm leaning Larry Allen or Bob Lilly. But at the end of the day, I feel like I got to go Bob Lilly, man. I feel like I got to go Bob Lilly.
You got to represent that 60s. That 60s, early 70s Dallas Cowboys, bro.
It's a different kind of animal, man. That dude was a beast.
Remember, we had the Doom. I mean, as iconic as we turned into an offensive dude in the 60s and 70s, we were known for defense.
Yeah. You just see that white colored jersey just colored in mud and brown and
I grew
blood
up,
everywhere.
Bro, with Harvey Martin and Jeff.
Yeah.
You remember Ed Too Tall Jones?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, that was real deal. That was real deal, man. And it was hard. It's hard because I do so many great players, man. When you're talking about that ring honor, Randy White, talking about, a bunch of those guys. Even I would go as far as even saying, nah, I'm not gonna go there. But Tyron Smith too, man. Nah, he's not there. He's not, but
he ain't there.
He's had an amazing career. I think we can both agree on that.
Man,
he's surefire Hall of Famer. I mean, from beginning to end, dude has been pretty damn dominant. So we'll see what happens with the rest of his career. Those back injuries are obviously kind of ailing him a little bit, but we'll see. He might make it there. He's got a chance. We're gonna see.
The one thing about this organization, man, is we know that they have had a lot of very good players, and they've had great players. They haven't had just 3 or 4 great players. The Dallas Cowboys, man, have no less than 10 great players. Like I said, how many? I mean, we got at least 6 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something else. And as I even sit here and we think about this, man, and like oh shit. I got to change my mind, man. I told you every week I was going to find a reason to give Jerry Jones props, man. I told you that. That was my New Year's resolution.
Okay.
I was going to speak the truth. Jerry, if you listen, Jerry, I'm putting you on my Mount Rushmore, brother. I just had to kick off. I just kicked off Randy Wright or Bob Lilly for Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, he has made it on my Rushmore. It is Jerry Jones. It is Roger Staubach. It is Emmitt Smith. And it is Tom Landry.
Wow.
That's it.
As many times as it what did it for you? What clicked in your head? Was it because he's in the Hall of Fame? It's because he's in the Hall of Fame?
Nah, man. Nah. But it's I think what you said is true. Love him or hate him. The Dallas Cowboys, they dude, there was a report at one time when he brought this team. Do you know how much balls you got to have? That they was losing $1 million a month.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he has turned this franchise. He himself as an executive, not as a football guy, but as an executive, he has made this the most iconic sports brand in the world, not in the U.S., in the world. It is the most valuable sports franchise in the world. And when you're doing stuff like that on the business end, he's on my Mount Rushmore, man. My pride, and I'm mad at him for the football performance, but big picture, that's only one segment. As an NFL owner, that's one segment, but man, I got to give it to him.
I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure I'm getting this recorded properly because
look, and
you kill me every week. You're like, he stole my joy. He destroyed my team. Jerry Jones.
Some glory hole. I want me some glory hole, Jerry.
Like circumcising a mosquito.
The recognition that you so dearly crave, I have now fed into the Jerry Jones hype machine. But he has to be on Mount Rushmore, man, for the Dallas Cowboys to me. And all honestly, to me, he does. So there's my 4. That's my 4.
Now you're making me question myself. I pull off. Do I take off Bob Lilly for Jerry?
I did. I picked up Bob. You got, hey man.
We'll see. I ain't putting Jerry's ass on there until we win another Super Bowl. How about that, Jerry? Win a Super Bowl, I'll put you on the damn Mount Rushmore, sir.
I'm actually surprised, man. That would be cool if they had something like that in Frisco or something like that.
Oh, that would be dope.
That would be cool, right? That
you voted
could vote for your Mount Rushmore. Yeah, you can.
That'd be dope.
And that would be cool as the fan experience, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Don't steal my idea, Jerry. If you steal my goddamn idea,
oh, he is.
That's my idea.
You heard it here. We recorded
it. What would be cool? Now, I'm telling you seriously. At every game, you know how they do this. But the fans every game can vote on their Rushmore, and they put it on the big screen, right? At halftime, right?
That's dope.
Right?
Yeah, who you working? You working for Jerry now? Hold on.
I'm just saying. Look, man. I'm a Cowboy. I just gave you a great. Now, Jerry, that's free. That's free right there. Usually, I'm trying to, but I'm gonna give you that one as a businessman to businessman, Jerry. I just gave you a great idea. The fans would love it because it's all about the fan experience. We're gonna vote on that shit. You give us choices, and every week you get 8 times a year, and basically you're gonna tabulate that shit up at the end of the year, and then you're gonna put it at Frisco as a permanent, right? As voted for by the fans.
Bro.
Rushmore.
Jerry got so much of a damn ego. There's no way.
What's that? Jerry's like, I got voted in.
Yeah, you know that shit is rigged, bro. He gonna put himself on there. Jerry ain't gonna let that go down. Hell no.
What's that? Jerry got 2 votes, and Jerry's like, I was the top vote getter. So I'm up there twice.
He put himself on all 4 of them, man.
What's that? Old ass Jerry and young Jerry.
Dang. All right. Hey, so that's all the time we have for today's episode. Remember, check us out, man. XXO Show. Check us out on YouTube. Also, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you guys make sure y'all go check that out. It's all love,
Come get
Cowboys
us.
Nation.
Come hang with us.
Yes, sir.
Come hang with us. All right, brother. Another good week in the books, man.
Yes,
hey, let's
sir.
get into this draft thing, man. Let's get into it.
It's coming.